Starting with the next chapter, carbon and its compounds, which is actually organic chemistry. Allotropic forms of carbon. First topic is allotropic forms of carbon. First of all, what is the meaning of allotropic or what is the meaning of allotrop? This is a phenomenon of existence of an element. This element is carbon. This exists in two or more forms, and these forms are known as allotropic forms, and this is called allotropy. So what is allotropic forms of carbon? Or first of all, we define what is allotropy. The phenomenon of existence of an element when one element exists in two or more forms, and in these forms its physical properties will be different but the chemical properties will remain the same. Chemical properties will remain the same because this form is just made up of the same element. If element is same in these forms, the chemical properties will remain the same, but they will have different physical properties. Physical properties will be different because arrangement of the elements, the atoms of elements will be different, but identical chemical properties is called allotropy, and the different forms are called allotropic forms. Or simply allotropes. So see the definition again. Allotropic forms of carbon. This is actually a phenomenon of existence of an element in two or more forms, and in these forms the physical properties will be different while the chemical properties will be same. So this phenomenon is called allotropy, and the different forms that we have, these are known as allotropic forms. And for carbon there are three crystalline allotropic forms. Carbon in nature occurs in three allotropic forms. These allotropic forms are diamond, graphite and fullerene. Diamond, graphite, and the third one is fullerenes. And all these are the purest form of carbon. These are the purest forms of carbon. The physical properties of these forms of carbon, like I said, they will be different. The reason is because arrangement of carbon in these three forms is different. Since the arrangement is different, the physical properties will be different. So this is the reason why physical properties will be different. The physical properties of these three allotropes of carbon are different due to different arrangement of carbon atoms in them. Now we have to study these one by one. First, starting with the diamond. First allotropic form of carbon we are taking is diamond. First is structure of diamond, because the arrangement of carbon atom is different in these. So first we'll study the structure of these allotropes. So structure of diamond. In case of diamond, one carbon atom links up with the four more carbon atoms in a tetrahedral way. There are 4 electrons in large shell of carbon. So using those 4 electrons, it is forming covalent bonds with 4 other carbon atoms. It is forming the covalent bond with 4 other carbon atoms. And when it is combining with these carbon atoms, they are combining in a tetrahedral way. See this structure they are forming. So in this way, this carbon atom will be stable, but these carbon atoms now, they also want to have stability. So this carbon has combined with one carbon, this one further will combine with 3 more carbon atoms again in a tetrahedral way. Similarly, this will combine with 3 more carbon atoms. This one will also combine with 3 more carbon atoms, and even this one is combining with 3 more carbon atoms in a tetrahedral way. And in this way, they are completing their structure. In this structure, the angle which is formed between these carbon atoms, since it is tetrahedral structure, so angle is 109.5 degree. So this is the arrangement of carbon atoms in diamond in a tetrahedral way, and three-dimensional network structure it will get like this. So when we expand the structure further, combine these carbon atoms also with more carbon atoms, we'll get a three-dimensional network structure of diamond. So this is about the structure of diamond. We can write the structure in this. Each carbon atom is attached to 4 other carbon atoms. So each carbon is linking with 4 other carbon atoms, and the bonds which are formed are the covalent bonds here. So each carbon atom is combining with another carbon atom by a single covalent bond. And these bonds which are formed, these 4 bonds formed, will be at the corners of a tetrahedron. The 4 surrounding carbon atoms are at the 4 corners of a tetrahedron. As shown in this figure, these 4 carbon atoms of neighboring carbon atom of this carbon atom, they are at the corners of a tetrahedron, and they are making an angle of 109.5 degree, which is called tetrahedral angle. This tetrahedral arrangement of carbon atoms, when we get this tetrahedral arrangement of all these carbon atoms, gives diamond a rigid means tightly packed 3-dimensional network structure. 3D network structure we will get. So actually, diamond is a giant molecule, is a big molecule consisting of only carbon atoms. So we can write thus: diamond is a giant molecule consisting of only carbon atoms. So this is about the structure of diamond. Now moving on to the physical properties of diamond. Physical properties. Because of this 3-dimensional rigid structure, one physical property of diamond is that this is hard, we can say, quite hard, and this has high density also, because atoms, they are closely packed. So because of this, it has high density because atoms are closely packed. Due to close packed carbon atoms, its density is quite high. Third property is electrical and thermal conductivity. Diamond is not a conductor, not electrical and thermal conductor, because in the structure all 4 electrons of carbon atoms are used. So no free electrons are present for conduction of electricity. So it is not a conductor of electricity. We explain this part. Since all the 4 valence electrons are used to form carbon-carbon single bonds. Therefore, no free electrons are in a diamond crystal. Therefore, diamond is a bad conductor of electricity. Is a bad conductor of electricity. But it has high thermal conductivity. It has high thermal conductivity. And because of this reason, diamond tools do not overheat, and because of this they are used for cutting and grinding purposes. They are extensively used for drilling and cutting purposes. Next property after hardness, high density of diamond, electrical and thermal conductivity, next we can write is transparency. Diamond is transparent substance. It is a transparent substance, high melting point. Because of the strong bonds present in diamond, it has high melting point. So these are the physical properties of diamond. Next allotropic form of carbon is graphite. So first again we will do the structure of graphite. So how carbon atoms will link in case of graphite. In this case, one carbon atom in a graphite layer is linking with 3 more carbon atoms. Like this carbon is linking with 2 carbons here, and it is linking with 1 carbon of the next hexagon here. Hexagons like this will form. Like this, hexagons will form. So one carbon is linking with how many more carbon atoms? With 3 more carbon atoms of its own layer. Even this carbon atom links up with the more carbon atoms, and like this the hexagons they will form. This is one layer of hexagons of carbon atom, and here each carbon atom links up with the 3 more carbon atoms only. And to satisfy the 4th valency of carbon, actually each hexagonal ring has 3 alternate single and double bonds here. So this is combining actually with, I'm taking this carbon atom, this is combining with the next layer. There will be hexagonal layers like this, one hexagonal layer here, one here, like this. There are so many hexagonal layers in graphite. So the carbon atom is linking with, each carbon atom here links up with the hexagon of the next layer. So with this carbon atom we can show links up with this carbon atom. And these forces which are there in between these hexagonal layers, these are very weak forces known as van der Waals forces of attraction. These are van der Waals forces of attraction. While these bonds which the carbon is forming in the hexagonal layers, these bonds are purely covalent bonds. So covalent bonds are strong as compared to the van der Waals forces. And each carbon atom, like I said, in a layer of hexagonal layer is attached to 3 other carbon atoms by strong covalent bonds. So here I am drawing some more carbon atoms here. Even this one is linking with more carbon atoms. So there are hexagonal layers which are formed. And in between the hexagonal layers, there are van der Waals forces which are actually connecting the hexagonal layers of graphite. Now description of this. Just writing this part about the structure of graphite. Graphite has a layers of carbon atoms. There are layers of carbon atoms. Each carbon atom in a graphite layer, we are talking about this layer only. Each carbon atom in a graphite layer is bonded to 3 other carbon atoms, forming hexagonal rings. So each carbon atom here is combining with 3 more carbon atoms, and in this way they are forming these hexagonal rings. They are formed, and like this, these layers which are formed, these are connected by the weak forces. Like I said, that these forces are known as van der Waals forces of attraction. So various these sheets, or we can say the layers which are formed, they are held together by weak van der Waals forces of attraction. This is about the structure of graphite. Now the physical properties of graphite, they are based on this structure. Moving on to next part, that is the physical properties of graphite. First thing is, because there are layers formed and there is a gap between the layers, they are connected by the weak forces. So that is why they have a low density, because the packing of the atoms here, carbon atoms packing is not very close. So they have a low density because of this thing. Then they are soft also. Again, the reason is because they are weak van der Waals forces. So one layer can easily slide over the other layer. Electrical conductivity, because only 3 bonds are formed by each carbon atom, 4th electron will be left free with each carbon atom, because of which graphite is a conductor of electricity. So this is a very important point. Carbon has 4 valence electrons. It has 4 electrons in its outermost shell, but when we have a graphite arrangement of carbon atoms in a graphite, each carbon atom is just joining with 3 more carbon atoms only. That means the 4th electron will be left as it is. By covalent bonds, 1 carbon atom is combining with 3 more carbon atoms, and in this way they form hexagonal rings. Thus we can say only 3 valence electrons are used for bond formation, and hence the 4th valence electron is free to move. And this is the reason why it is a good conductor of heat and electricity. So as a result, graphite is a good conductor of heat and electricity, because the free electron can conduct heat and electricity. So this is about the second allotrope of carbon, that is graphite. Moving on to the third allotrope of carbon, that is fullerene. This is a new class of carbon allotrope, recently discovered allotrope of carbon. fullerenes are a new class of carbon allotrope, and they have a sphere kind of a shape, like a football kind of a shape they have. They are spheroidal in shape and have 60 to 350 or even more than that, these many number of carbon atoms in them. Out of all these, the stable one is the fullerene with the 60 carbon atom, that is, I'm taking the C60, it's written like this, C60 fullerene is the most stable. And it was the first to be identified also. And since the name is C60, that means it actually has 60 carbon atoms in it. It contains 60 carbon atoms. And how these carbon atoms are arranged? They arrange themselves like a football. They arranged in the shape of a football, or we can say football is called soccer, so it's also called a soccer ball. Therefore, because of this, sometimes we call this as, it is called buckyball. Another name of this one is buckyball. Now, how these 60 carbon atoms they arranged? These 60 carbon atoms, they form the rings. And total, how many rings are there? 20 rings are there, which will have 6 carbon atoms in the rings. So 6 membered rings are there. And 12 5-membered rings are there. So there are 6-membered rings also, pentagons also there, and 6-membered rings are there, hexagons also there in this structure. And this structure resembles like the domes made by the architect Buckminster Fuller. So because of this, this is also known as Buckminster Fullerene also. So this we have to mention, we have to learn this part. This allotrope look like domes designed by the US architect. Name of architect is Buckminster Fuller. So that is why they are called Buckminster Fullerene also. So there are different names of this. This is called fullerene, buckyball, or even the Buckminster Fullerene. So if we draw the structure of this thing, it's just like a football, like a soccer, and in the center there are some 5-membered rings and some 6-membered rings are there. Suppose there are carbon atoms here, 3rd carbon atom, 4th, and this is 5th. So this is like a 5-membered ring formed here. Similarly, this one is combining with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5-membered ring. Now here I'm drawing a 6-membered ring. So somewhere there are 5-membered rings and somewhere there are 6-membered rings like this. So this is the structure of these kind of structures we get. This is Buckminster Fullerene. This is the 3rd allotrope of carbon. 3 allotropes: diamond, graphite and fullerene. So this is about our topic, allotropes of carbon.